Talking with the experts.
We think of emojis as being cartoon characters, but in episode 399, Sharon Chemello discusses how emoji can help us to find our happy face.
That's right, yeah. And the thing is too, with self-care, we don't always just mean bubble baths and Netflix, you know. Sometimes it needs to be something really proactive, like a meditation, a really deep meditation. So because I had so much anxiety this morning, because I've made the chemicals, I'm tired and a lot of excitement, a lot of triggers over the birthday, a lot of cake, too much cake, and I know that's the main reason. But the other things as well, I got to late morning and thought it's not shifting, and I'm not thinking clearly. So I went and sat on the bed under the fan, darkened the room, did a meditation. The minute I turned on the meditation music, I was crying. And I thought, here it comes, let it go. And this is the stuff that so many people either don't know about or don't try because it's...
Talking with the experts.
Talking with the Experts would love to acknowledge Global Glamping Charities Incorporated for generously supporting this podcast. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all of its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. My guest is Sharon Chemello, and Sharon is all about finding your happy face. And Sharon, or Auntie Shaza, it depends on what mood you're in to be able to call her that and how close you are. She's the mum to millennials. She's the teacher from prep to 12. She's coach to family, the kids, teens, and family whisperer. Now she is the EMOJI crusader. Also, she's a sustainable crusader with her partner, Frank. It's been a long journey. Her book, Emoji Find Your Happy Face, is a culmination of the work that she's done from drinking less and feeling fresh to anxiety-reduced living. She's helping others find their happy face with more peace, more love, and more joy and more calm. So leading by example, she would like to help business people who are struggling with anxiety, depression, and feelings of doubt find their happy face. Welcome, Sharon, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. What an introduction.
Well, you wrote it.
That's right. Boom. Where's my mic drop? Here it is. I do props, by the way. Mic drop.
Well done. Tell me how you got into doing whatever it is you're doing and what prompted you to write Emoji.
Yeah, thank you, Rose, and thanks for having me here. And, I feel really special to be included in something called Talking to the Experts. I've always tried to be a bit of an expert in my field, but yeah, it feels really good to be here amongst experts.
It's my pleasure having you.
Privileged. Thank you. And you can see I have emojis in the background. I'm not really great at technology, so I tend to use props. So I have some emojis on a chart, and then I have my handmade emoji model there, and it continues down below the screen. So 7 years ago, yes, I was sitting on the couch, separated, divorced, self-sabotaging, totally messed up everything, I was drinking heavily. I was eating whole blocks of chocolate, whole tubs of ice cream. I was an absolute mess. And of course, those things create, more chemicals to create more depression. One of the best quotes I've ever put on Facebook, I think, in terms of the most traction, was that anxiety and depression are chemical, but we make the chemicals.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yes. And a lot of people, will debate that and say, oh, but I have XYZ. I have anxiety, I have depression, I have PTSD, I have, intergenerational trauma, I have. And I've never been huge on labels for many reasons, but saying I have something or experiencing something. So I do experience anxiety and depression from time to time, and I have experienced anxiety big time and depression big time. So over the 7 years, I hit rock bottom. I found a coach and learned to drink less and feel fresh. That's what we call it in his group, rather than sobriety, because it's not always total sobriety. It's about your relationship with yourself firstly, and then, with alcohol. And then I found another coach who worked in the field of anxiety, and I've learned so much from him. And I've had one-on-one coaching with several coaches. I started studying coaching myself. I've studied several varieties of coaching and several healing modalities, I guess. And yeah, so it's just been 7 years of what you'd call personal development and healing, and finding my way, or as one of my coaching friends says, creating my way, creating the new me. And so I was doing these little lives in the morning. I was going on my morning walk and doing lives about strategies that have helped me and that I know help others. And I was going through the strategies. I was saying exercise and energy and mindfulness and meditation and owning your shizzle and essential oils over oils and journaling and inner child. And all of a sudden the word emoji just appeared like a blinding flash, and the angels were singing and the harps were playing and the trumpets were sounding. And I thought, emoji, that's it, because emojis are all the emotions, all the feelings. And, it's okay to not be okay. So it's okay to feel these different emotions, because a lot of the anxiety comes from the judgment of the emotion. Oh, I feel stressed today, or I feel overwhelmed today. And it's that judgment rather than finding ways to work through it, feel it in the body. I see you nodding. Yeah, But a lot of people don't know this stuff. And that's why I decided to write the book called EMOJI. We just happened to have, here's one we made earlier. There it is. That's the first copy off the shelves or out of the printers. There are more coming. We found a great graphic for the front cover, where the person is stepping into their emoji, stepping into their happy face, which is not to say that we can't feel all the other feels. Today, because I had a big birthday weekend and I had too much sugar, today I've been feeling some level of anxiety. But rather than beat myself up and call myself names like I used to, I'm able to understand why it's there. Oh, of course it would be there today. Look at the weekend you had, and look what you ate.
Yeah, I find the
too
weekends
much
for me are the most difficult time. I usually have a good week, and then by sort of Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night, it's my worst night. And then I wake up Monday morning and I'm all fine again. And I don't understand why the weekends I have these slumps of, you're no good, you're hopeless, you're going to give up everything, why bother? But comes Monday morning and I'm out of bed and raring to go. But it starts on Friday night. And I think, the hell is going on? And yeah, I can never work it out. It's weird. But I'm aware of it now. I mean, I've seen the
Yes.
pattern the last few weekends, and I thought to myself last night, well, this can't be good. There's obviously something that's triggering this weekend thing. So I'm going to
Yeah.
investigate it a little bit more. But I think you're right about, feelings. We've got to recognize them. We have to accept them. And then we have to look for solutions to why we are feeling the way we are feeling at that particular moment.
Yeah. And in your case, O for observe or get curious, which is what you're doing. Now, why is this happening over a number of weekends? What's going on? Have I lost my purpose that I have during the week? Is there someone in my life who might be, yes, triggering me? Yeah, so there's all sorts of reasons, and that's where good coaches can help uncover, what's going on for you. And yeah, and sometimes just a half-hour conversation with a good coach who's asking the right questions. Even when I said then, are you being triggered by, I shouldn't say, is someone triggering you, because it's our
By being triggered
choice,
by
our
someone's
decision.
behavior.
Yeah, are you being triggered by someone is a better way to frame that. And what can we do about that? How could we change that dynamic? Or, so it's that observation and curiosity. But even then, when I put that to you, it's like, yes, that's part of it. So yeah, people that can ask the right questions can then get you finding the solutions. The solutions are in us, but it's just having that little bit of assistance to ask the questions.
And having that self-awareness too.
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't thought about it until this weekend, that there's got to be something. There has to be some reason. So yeah, I just need to look into it a little bit more. I have a fairly good idea about why, but I just need to figure out ways to, so I don't feel like it on the weekends.
Yeah, and changing the routine up, changing, as Tony Robbins says, changing your state. So if you're feeling that way as the weekend progresses, what could you build into your weekend that will change those feelings and change those beliefs?
Yes, more self-care.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the thing is too, with self-care, we don't always just mean bubble baths and Netflix. Sometimes it needs to be something really proactive, like a meditation, a really deep meditation. So because I had so much anxiety this morning, because I've made the chemicals, I'm tired, and a lot of excitement, a lot of triggers over the birthday, a lot of cake, too much cake. And I know that's the main reason. But the other things as well, I got to late morning and thought it's not shifting, and I'm not thinking clearly. So I went and sat on the bed under the fan, darkened the room, did a meditation. The minute I turned on the meditation music, I was crying. And I thought, here it comes, let it go. And this is the stuff that so many people either don't know about or don't try because it's outside their comfort zone. And if you'd told me 7 years ago that I would be sitting on the bed meditating and crying in the middle of the day, I would have scoffed too. So I feel like that's why I'm a good teacher of this stuff, because I lived a fairly mainstream life. I always had an inner hippie there longing to get out, but I didn't know how, and it's like we don't know what we don't know.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I think that's my thing too. I'm so focused on being a carer for other people. I'm not being a carer to myself, and I think it's finally my subconscious has finally said enough is enough, and start looking after yourself. It's so
yeah, that's good. And even just positive affirmations on the bathroom mirror, some of these what I call sort of surface level strategies can actually be a lot deeper than they appear. I've got one up here that a coach gave me. It's not leaping out at me. I think it's on my other notice board, but it said, I am healed, I am worthy, and I am forgiven, and that was from a coaching session that she and I did. And then I put it on a sticky note. It's on the other one, I can see it. And it's, it's there every day for me to see. when I start feeling like,
Yeah, I've got to start putting because I changed my office around and took everything off the walls. I think I need to put mine back up because it's time so that I can, because I mean, I've done my vision board for next year, so I already know what I'm looking for. So yeah, and vision boards, people think they're a bit woo-woo too, but really, if you set yourself a vision for the year, something to work towards, isn't it? And if you're feeling a bit crappy, then just look at your vision board and say, well, this is what I want for this year, and to get that thing, I have to work for it.
Absolutely. And they're there in the book, vision boards. That comes, for me, it comes under M for manifestation. So it's funny, I've used all the strategies. I've listed over 50 strategies, but I've tucked them into the letters of emoji just to make it fit. But certainly there's a few paragraphs there about vision boards, and I've done a vision board workshop that I can send people. There's a very basic description in the book about how to do them, and that is about manifesting your desires. So it's not just here's my dreams, it's here's my dreams, what action do I need to take, as you just said, to make them happen, and whether that's a sports car or world peace or feed the children or whatever, or your trip to Bali. You put them on your vision board, make them achievable, SMART goals. The SMART goals.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what they all stand for. SMART.
Yeah. Something achievable.
Achievable, yeah.
Something anyway. And timely.
Yes. That's it. Yeah. I should have it up here. That might be something for me to do for homework, is to have the initials of SMART goals up on the board, So, and we don't need to know them. We can look them up after the call, and we don't need to be embarrassed that we don't know them or we've forgotten them.
Absolutely not.
Especially at our age, Rose.
Yeah, when you hit that, magical number. It's almost retirement age, another 7 years to go.
That's right. M is measurable. It's all coming to me, but I'll let it go.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it's in the book.
Yes. Measurable, achievable. Can't remember what R is. Yeah, and timely. So yeah, that's it. But I mean, I've got the main of it. Who cares?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But
Sharon, how can some of the things in your book, do you want to go through some of them with me, and let our audience know about what's in the book, so that
sure,
they can go and buy their paperback copy that's coming out soon for $4.99.
Yeah, well, the Kindle version is $4.99.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the paperback will be about $28, depending on where you buy it from.
I saw your Facebook post. I only skimmed through it. So
that's all right. No, the Kindle is $4.99, so you can read it on any device, on your Kindle, on your phone, on your computer, if you need larger print like I do. And the paperbacks are coming now, that you can pre-order them. And they sit at around, I was trying to get it to $27 because that's my birthday that I just had yesterday, but it sits around the $28 mark unless people want to get it quicker. There's
Barnes
Amazon.
and Noble. Is it Barnes and Noble?
Yeah, they are. Yes, and Book Depository and Amazon.
Book Depository.
All good bookstores. And some of them are just priced slightly more. Just the way the market fluctuations work. And some of them have free delivery. So I think Book Depository, it sits at about $31. With free delivery before Christmas.
Just look out for the link in the show notes, people, and you can go and grab your copy of EMOJI.
Yes.
Now go through the book with me.
Yeah, just briefly. The start of the book is pretty much a bit of story about how EMOJI has helped me, how the strategies have helped me, how I've helped others and school children. There's a couple of illustrations in there, written illustrations about a group of teenagers who, one of the girls told me she couldn't do something because she had anxiety, and I took the whole class outside and we danced in the rain, just a sprinkle. But and then we talked about that change of state. Hello, Puss. What's Puss's name?
Tiny.
Tiny. Tiny. Oh,
He was
he's not
very
that
tiny when
tiny.
I got her, so she's called Tiny Puss.
Yeah. I've got Basil the brilliant dog is over on the bed. He's fast asleep. He had a big weekend chasing balls with family members, and so there are lots of stories in the book, very light stories to explain different points, and there's lots of passages that quote well-known gurus. So, for example, the Dalai Lama says that pain is inevitable, but suffering is an option. So, and that was one of the quotes that really hit home for me. Okay, so there's going to be pain in our lives. We're going to lose people. We're going to care for people. Things are going to happen to us. We may get sick, or whatever. But the level of suffering comes down to our choices, our responses. We've got reactions and responses, so we can react and fire off anger or sadness or whatever. Sadness and anger are vital, but we can then choose how to respond, with observation and curiosity and caring and love. And so some people say there's only two emotions, love and fear. So that's interesting.
I don't know. I think there's a few more than that.
Yeah. But they say that everything comes from or with love or fear, and then others kind of slot into those. But that's a tricky one.
I think it's a matter of perspective.
Yes, that's right. So then in the book, it's divided into chapters for each letter of emoji. So in the E chapter, there's energy, exercise, emotions. I use a lot of props in my coaching, but when I do workshops and things or work with kids, I use a tennis ball in a jar of water, and we push it down and we push it down, and that's our emotions, and it's always surfacing. It's always coming back. Sometimes it kind of explodes, which is what happened to the previous tennis ball. It actually split. And sometimes it explodes at the worst possible time, at our mother or our teacher or whoever, So it's how we process emotions and how we deal with them, like I did today, realizing that I was all churned up. So going off and doing a meditation and having a good old cry, There's also a little bit about EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, which is tapping, which obviously. That might be a good one for you on your Sunday night. I am worthy. I am loved. I am special.
Whatever. I am special, yes.
Yep. So, and there's several other E strategies. So I'm just giving you some of them.
No, that's fine. Yeah, but just so that gets people interested in what's in it.
Yeah, for M, we've got mindfulness, where you use your five senses. So I go for a morning walk, or even if I strode outside now to have a little mental break. What can you see, hear, smell, touch, and taste? And that's a really good one for kids. And for a business person who's taking a little lunchtime walk or whatever, rather than scrolling through your phone, because we're just so focused on technology and screens and what's in our headspace that we forget to get into our bodies and to enjoy the moment. So mindfulness is about, what can I see? Is there a breeze? Even sitting here, there is a light breeze. I can smell the sandalwood that I put on, I can feel the base of the chair, and it's a little bit sticky because it's a hot day, so I might need to find a towel for summer, so just being aware of our surroundings. And then meditation, I didn't do any meditation 7 years ago, and it's been just a savior to me. And a lot of business people now are getting into meditation to take that break from all the clutter and all the technology, and they're finding it huge, a huge path to clear minds, and more peace in their lives, in their day. Yeah, and there are so many ways to do it. It's all over the internet. And you might see transcendental meditation being advertised by famous movie stars, you know, and that's something I want to have a look at. That's my next. I've done several types of meditation and courses, and I teach meditation, but I want to have a crack at this other one, this transcendental TM, you know, because there's the movie star Hugh Jackman and several others sing its praises, you know, for calming the mind, because we tend to be what some of the monks call monkey chatter, you know.
Yes.
That we have so many thoughts, and so many of them are negative, sadly, you know. So if we can still the mind, and breath, connected to the breath, even if we just sit here now and just take a deep breath.
Very calming.
It's everything slows down. Everything slows down. And we're connected.
Notice you can hear the sounds. Like I can hear, I could, whilst I was being quiet, I could hear noises outside of this room.
That's it. Yeah. So it's awareness of our surroundings as well. So mindfulness and meditation, I've also got manifestation. We spoke of music, you know, putting some calming music on, or putting some, you know, some pump up music to get us motivated. Tonight I'm going up to the Red Cliff Peninsula to give a workshop on EMOJI to a ladies group, a women's group. And, you know, I'm probably going to be just a little bit weary at 6 o'clock tonight. So rather than grab coffee and sugar, I'll be doing some breathing, some breath work, some meditation, but I might put on some, you know, pump it up music to get me going.
Highway to Hell or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And, you know, we can call that an anchor too, where there's a certain piece of music that can work with our feelings, like work with feeling excited and motivated, or work with sadness. I've got certain pieces of music that I use to anchor those feelings. And also, you know, essential oils all the time, which comes under O. So I had to decide whether to put it under O or E, you know. This one's just a sandalwood, but it's very earthing and very grounding. And so if you use it, for example, when you do meditate, then you carry it in your handbag or man bag, or have it on your desk at work, pop it on during the day, and those same good feelings will come to you. So, yeah, anchors are really important.
They are a good thing. It's public speaking, I usually hold my finger like on one of the joints to calm me down, because I don't like to public speak at all. And so putting my, you know, holding onto this joint just helps to calm me down.
That's great. Yeah. And there are some acupressure points too for headaches, just here.
Over the thumb, in here.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I find that really helpful if I'm starting to feel stressed. So, yeah, and I've got a couple on my ankles that work for me too.
Oh, cool.
So just quickly, Jay, journaling. So what I did today when I was feeling, it's good that I had this today, because I can use it as an example, you know. Not every day is a great day, even for someone who's teaching this stuff, you know. So I went in and I just grabbed my journal and I just unleashed everything that went on over the weekend that was, you know, doing my head in, and just got it all out on paper, and making a commitment to writing it out, and that's helping to let it go, and then to do the meditation and have a cry. It's just so powerful. But also a lot of people journal gratitudes, as you know. So I do what I call the big 5, and I honestly don't remember where I heard it, but it's: what am I grateful for? What am I happy about? What am I excited for? What am I proud of? And what am I committed to? And look, you know, 6-7 years ago, I would just sit there trying to think up things, and I'd be like, well, I'm not happy at all. I've got nothing to say, or I'm not, you know, I'm very sad. Or so I'd write that instead. I'd say I'm not happy at the moment. But then I'd try and find something too, without being Pollyanna, you know. Well, actually, I am happy that this happened, or I am happy that it's a beautiful day and all that rain has stopped, So, yeah, there's always
There's always
something to
something to
find.
be grateful for. When
Yeah,
you wake up every day, that's something
yeah.
to be grateful for.
Well, that's right.
Because you're a
Yeah,
long time under the ground, that's for sure.
exactly. George Burns, the comedian, the American comedian, he used to say, "Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here, but at my age, it's great to be anywhere."
That's it, yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
Yep. And then I have this other thing called the 3Js. That's in the book too. And I learned that just from a counselor or a coach that I was seeing way back at the start, even before my separation. And it was the 3Js: jealousy, judgment, and justification. And just getting curious and observing when those things are happening for us. So if we go out and we're judging somebody, just being mindful of that and getting curious about, well, why am I judging that person? Is there a mirror? Am I seeing something in them that is in me that I don't like? And jealousy and justification. I used to use justification all the time. Oh, well, I couldn't do this because of that, and that, And so I wanted to learn to be more mindful of that. So I've popped that in, and it's not one that I've heard very often. And then lastly, the eyes. I call it inner everything, but I start with Iceman, Wim Hof, and not that I'm advocating ice baths. I think they need to be done under very strict supervision by people who know what they're doing. But I do love, for anxiety particularly, I do love cold showers and cold swims if you can do that. I went and had a cold shower late morning, and that was a good change of state, because it sort of snaps some of the anxiety. It gives you a bit of a wake up call, but it's also you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, where we all know that growth and learning occur. So it's something you can be proud of. Oh, I did it, you get that inner child. Like, I just had a cold shower, go me. For some people, that's nothing. For me, that's a huge thing.
Would be for me. I don't like cold showers at all.
Exactly. So, what else could I do today that I'm going to be stepping outside of my comfort zone and really proud of? And yeah, it's a sort of, they call it cold water therapy. But then there's all the other eyes. So inner peace, inner calm, with all these strategies that I've already mentioned, inner health, the nutrition side of things. Oh, and I did forget energy under E. That's really probably almost the most important of all, is energy and what we eat and drink and how that affects our mood. And they do say that a lot of our brain chemicals will come from the gut indirectly.
Yes, yeah, the vagus nerve, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I'm sorry I forgot that one. Inner child is so important. And when I run a little free program starting on December the 1st in my EMOJI group, and we might be able to put that in the comments somewhere, that'll be just a little free Advent program leading up to Christmas, because this can be a very stressful time for people, especially business people. So it's going to have a lot of inner child in it, because, I dare anybody to go and run around outside, around their backyard, or run around in their apartment doing something completely silly and not feeling, those endorphins and the dopamine hit that you'll get from that, jumping in a puddle or laying on the grass and looking at clouds. And just looking after our inner child. So even with your scenario that you've honestly shared there, there might be something, that's triggering. Often triggers are from our inner child, those feelings, those limiting beliefs can be from, something that's happened in our childhood that we're still kind of hanging on to. So, yeah, so good coaches can help with inner child healing. Absolutely. So I guess in a nutshell, there are 50 and more strategies, which might seem like surface level strategies, but underneath them there are layers. And I do say in the book that, if you have some big baggage, then find a good coach to help you process that and to heal and to release that. But on top of that, at the surface, try all these other things like meditation or inner child and see the difference in your mood over the period of time. Within a week, you'll be feeling lifted and more vibrant and happier. And
Absolutely excellent. Sharon, thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing with us about your emoji and your book and your strategies and all the other things. Can you please tell us where people can find you if they want to know more or to work with you?
Sure. I'm always on Facebook, just Sharon Chemello, CHEMELLO. And from there, I have several groups. So if they're families, I pop them into my families group, the Kids, Teens and Families Whisperers, plural, because it's not just me. There are other coaches. There's another group called the Confidence Academy. So I have several groups. The one I will be working in December is EMOJI, Find Your Happy Face, shared strategies for wellness, because, again, other coaches are always welcome in my groups to help heal the collective. So, but anytime, just a Facebook message will reach me pretty quickly. Yeah.
Lovely. It's been a pleasure. Any last words of wisdom you'd like to share, Sharon?
I want to say thank you for having me. That's been amazing. Thank you, Rose. You're so good at this. And I guess something that I just said a few minutes ago, step outside your comfort zone. It's where the growth and learning occur. So I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for stepping outside my comfort zone. If you told me 7 years ago that I would be sitting here on Talking with the Experts, holding my book, having done a meditation, I would have just, right, but it's only through stepping outside the comfort zone and there's models of that you see in business spaces and coaching spaces that's where just trying those new things every day. Some people call it the 1% rule, don't they?
Baby steps, I call them. But
baby steps, or tweaking that one thing every day or once a week. Yeah,
absolutely.
And
Sharon,
lastly, try this.
Thank you for that. You brought out my inner child.
There you go.
Oh, lovely. It's lovely to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me. I've had an absolute ball.
Thanks, Rose. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye for now.
All right. See you.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.